used Uber?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, many times. Airbnb, have you heard about that? That's all disruptive new technology, and this is exactly what we are moving towards. We are moving towards a cashless society, and there are many reasons for that. And by the way, I know about PPS. I come from the insurance industry. I've got about 30 years experience there as well, and it's good to know that they are also now expanding globally.
Yeah.
Let's look at the statistics. There are 330 million adult Africans who lack access to formal financial services. We all know that. Africa is there. Look at the size of this market. And we said that Money 24/7 is scalable. Just like Kingdom Global, the name says it all, is scalable, spreading the word of God. This solution can also eventually be implemented in countries, for instance, Zimbabwe, Malawi, wherever. Okay? But just look at those figures. Half of almost 300 million registered mobile money accounts globally are located in sub-Saharan Africa. In other words, there are already 300 million registered mobile wallets where people are trading. You guys know, you're familiar with that, you travel a lot. And half of that is located in sub-Saharan Africa. It's amazing. In South Africa, we've got about 12 million people that are considered financially excluded.
Sure.
How can we do business with a person if he doesn't have a bank account? We all know about the stokvels. We know about the funeral societies, okay? They're doing a good job. But I talked to one of my clients the other day. He told me, Gustav, I have to take a taxi. I'm a Zimbabwean. I have to take 2 taxis to get to Joburg just to make my cash contribution for my funeral cover policy. Now I have to take 2 taxis back again. Now just imagine the cost involved and the risk of traveling around with cash. It does not make sense. 12 million people. I think we are moving towards, if we listen to the politicians, I think we are moving towards an Africa without borders. You know, and I think the same with the kingdom.
Yes.
Christendom doesn't have borders.
Yes.
You know, it spreads all around the world. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's where we are moving towards. So we see that there are a lot of foreigners in South Africa working here, contributing, especially Zimbabweans, Malawians, people from Nigeria. And what is their biggest challenge? Who can tell me what is the biggest challenge that they have? Why are they here in the first place?
Look for a job.
They look for a job, and then when they get the job, what do they do with the money?
Send money.
They have to send the money home. How do they get the money home? It's quite a bit of a struggle. And I'll tell you what we came up with as a solution to send the money home with a click of a button. The money will be available anywhere in the world. So I think that's quite exciting stuff.
Yeah.
How many Zimbabweans are in South Africa? That's anybody's guess. But what I'm saying is, you know, we can bring a solution for them to the table. It's estimated that at the moment about 12 billion rand is in the informal economy. It's under the mattress. Okay, so I get my wages and I sleep, I stuff it under my mattress. Okay? And there are 2 things in South Africa that worries me most. Tell me anything that worries you about South Africa. Anything that comes to mind. Does unemployment ring a bell? Yes. Does crime ring a bell?
Theft. Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that keeps me awake at night. And you know, if you've got cash, the other day I spoke to one of my colleagues in Bronkhorstspruit. This contractor, you know, he went to the bank, he drew 5,000 rand in cash and he paid his employers in cash. So on his way to the guys to pay them their wages, he was boxed in by 2 cars. The guys got out, shot him in the chest right there. They didn't even ask for the money. They didn't even whatever. Shot him in the chest. He's dead. Took the money. The guy bled out right there.
Oh.
That is something that nobody wants. You know, so if we remove that element, just think about our members, people that we deal with on a daily basis, our congregation, if they get their salary, doesn't matter what the amount is, if they lose that money, what's going to happen? Can they replace it? Is it insured? It's gone. How do you replace that domestic worker or that person earning X amount of money? If that money is gone, it's gone. So what we are saying is we are moving towards a cashless society. Okay, so who is Money 24/7? It might be the first time that you've heard about Money 24/7. Now, we are a fintech company. Now, fintech stands for financial technology. Okay? Like I mentioned, Uber, how many cars does Uber own? Who can tell me?
Nothing.
Not even one. They don't own, but they're the biggest transport company in the world. Airbnb, how many guest houses and hotels do they own?
Zero.
Zero. Nothing. They are the biggest accommodation provider in the world. It's all about technology. The same is with Money 24/7. This is new, disruptive technology. We are not a bank. We do not have a bank license. However, we have an FSP number. We were founded in 2014. My partner and I sat down and said, listen, we have to make a plan. There's a huge opportunity for this new technology, just like Uber and Airbnb that took off. And let's form a company by the name of Money 24/7. And like I said, we do have an FSP license, which is important, dealing with other people's money. We believe that we are empowering people by taking banking to the people. That's what makes us different. In the traditional model, what do we do?
Go
What
to
does
banks.
the employer do? You put all your people in a bus or a taxi or whatever, and you take them to the bank. Okay? It's not so easy in the rural areas. Sometimes people live 500 kilometers from the closest bank. So what does the employer do? He goes to the bank, takes out R500,000. Okay, now he drives around with R500,000 here in his bakkie. Okay, and he pays out his employees in cash. Is that a good idea?
Sure.
And he's got a target on his back. I promise you, it's just a matter of time. Okay. Having said that, let's say I pay my wages to my employees now. What happens to that wages? That person is also at risk. So this is a very good solution. We are taking the bank to the people. Our partners are, we partner with MasterCard and also Mercantile Bank, and I'll show you some of our other business partners. If you take this card and if you turn it around, you'll see at the back it says Mercantile Bank. So we plug into Mercantile Bank's banking system. Let's look at our vision, and I think it's a lot like Kingdom Global, but let's look at our vision. It's, first of all, is to take banking to the people. We can say, yeah, there's a lot of banks out there, you know, this corner and that corner, but what about the rural communities? You mentioned that now, Elias. How do we get to them? How do we bring the word of God to them? You've got a plan now. How do we empower them financially? That person is sitting there. The other day we had a discussion with a church. They've got 5,000 unemployed members in their church.
Sure.
5,000. That's what we said. Unemployment and crime, those are two of the big challenges in South Africa. I'm not even talking about globally. I think it's more or less the same wherever we go. So, our vision is to take banking to the people, take insurance to the people. I'll talk about that. Embedded in this product, when he signs up, automatically he or she will also get some benefits. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So we are taking insurance to the people. We are taking telecoms to the people. We want to make it easy. What are the people in the rural area doing now if they want airtime? It's a bit of a struggle. You have to go to the shop and drive. 2 taxis, 3 donkey carts later, and I've got my 10 rand airtime. Okay? Now you can go star 120, 123, and you recharge your airtime, or I can send my airtime to my brother that's living in Soweto, because he needs airtime now, or to my mom in Guyana. Okay? So let's make it easy. The other thing that we are passionate about is to create income opportunities. That's why I mentioned the unemployment. Hugo also mentioned that, and we said we are going to, we can't create jobs out of thin air. We are not politicians, we are not big business. We cannot hand out jobs for every single person that's out there. However, we can, by becoming a Money 24/7 agent, you can start earning an income and spread the word. Just have a look at this picture. This is an actual picture. This is in Mamelodi. This is in Nalmapias. You know that taxi rank there in Nalmapias? This is there. That's one of my agents, Tom Gore, Zimbabwean. There you can see the Money 24/7 t-shirt. So I drove around there. I know Mamelodi quite well. I drove around there. I was looking for another bank. I couldn't find a bank anywhere. So what are we doing? We are taking the bank to the people. You must see that taxi rank 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like it's busy. It's busy. Okay. All right. So let's look at Money 24/7 products and services. What we basically do is we can go to the client. Let's go back. Tom can sit there. Let's go back. Tom can sit there. This is the starter pack. And he can issue a card. He can open a bank account and issue the card right there on the spot for the client.
Sure.
So imagine that possibility even in the rural areas. Where we have large employers. I heard talk about the farming initiatives that's coming online, and we all know that what we can do there. The farmers can really use this. Okay, let's fast forward again. So basically, we can open up, we call it an e-wallet, but it's basically a fully functional bank account. Capturing some details on the internet, press enter, and the client will receive a series of SMSs. Good day, Mr. Kriel. This is your username and password. And your mobile number is your account number. How cool is that? So you can't forget I can't remember my account number, but now my mobile number, that's not too difficult to remember. Okay. The second thing is that in this card, once we've activated that e-wallet, you will see each agent, it comes in a sealed envelope. Inside is the card. So if you open up that starter pack, this is one of the pages that the client will get, and the card will be stuck there with his PIN. So all that we do now is, after the client paid his activation fee, we link the card to his account. So we've got a batch of about 10,000 cards lying here. Clients are there, we open the account, and we just link the card. Okay, and part of our value proposition also is the embedded risk benefits. Now, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I think you'll appreciate the fact that because we are dealing with a lot of foreigners here, and do you think all of the insurers want to give them funeral cover? No, that's the one thing. If you are an employer, or if you are a church institution, what happens if somebody dies in that community? Who is the first person that they come to? Either the pastor, or the dominee, or the employer. So, this employer has died, we need money and now, where do we get the money? Okay. So, we made this an embedded product. So, you will understand the fires and all those legislation. We don't go through a process where the person has to apply and there's underwriting and record of advice. It's embedded. If you join, you pay your activation fee, you get the insurance. There is a waiting period, but you are covered. No underwriting, automatically accepted. Let's look at the benefits for the clients. It's an easy onboarding process. We said, okay, South Africans might be our target market, but who is primarily our target market? The guy from Zimbabwe, the guy from Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia. He goes to the traditional bank, He doesn't have an asylum document or whatever. Do they want to help him? No. They turn him away, and then this guy has got no other means to transact or send money out. He has to deal with cash. Okay. So all that we need is a South African ID or of any valid passport, as long as it's valid. Any valid passport, if this guy is living in South Africa, it can be a Russian passport, it can be from United Emirates, doesn't matter. Any valid passport, or if the person has an asylum document. Okay, so that's also acceptable. Then we can onboard the client. Takes 5 minutes. Immediately the client has got a e-wallet, or like I said, a fully functional transactional account. I'll show you in practice. It's a bank account. You log in. I can create Hugo as a beneficiary. I can create Elias as my pastor at the church. I want to make a contribution to my church, and I can, and let's say the church is with another bank, I can do an EFT out of my wallet, and somebody can EFT into my wallet. I'll show you the money in, money out, but it's a fully functional bank account. Okay, and that e-wallet is totally free. There's no monthly charge on the e-wallet part. Okay. Then, let's say for instance, I'm a Money 24/7 account holder, and Christo is also a Money 24/7 account holder. I can transfer money either via star 120 or via the internet. I can send money to him for free, mahala. It doesn't cost you a cent. So what can we see the opportunities here, that we are creating an ecosystem, and I think I'm stealing your words now. We're creating an ecosystem here where we can transact between each other free of charge. That one client of mine doesn't have to take the 2 taxis to go to Joburg to pay the funeral society there to make sure that he's covered. He can just go star 120, money is paid for free. So that's very, very attractive feature. Once the client, we onboarded the client, he must go and pay in 150 Rand. We do not take the money because we do not want to sit with the cash. So he can go to any of the pay at stores, that's Boxer, ShopRite, Pick n Pay, Checkers. He pays the money into his own account. Remember, we already opened his account. What is his account number? His mobile number. Okay? He gets a slip. I've got an example here. It shows you Gustav paid in 150 Rand. He gets SMSs. The account has been opened. He comes back to Tom sitting there in Nelmopius, and Tom issues the MasterCard right there and then. And now the client, his account is open, his card is active, and he can go and transact. So what are we doing now? Did we take all the people now, say for instance, I've got 1,000 employees. Now I have to get them to the bank. Some of them bank with this bank and bank B and bank C, which makes it quite a logistical nightmare to get all your people to the banks and make sure that everything is done. Now, you as the employer or as the church organization can actually become the private bank. You become the bank. Okay. We already spoke about this part. The security guard at the complex that I stayed the other day said, hey Manla, how are you? He said, hey sir, I got robbed. I got paid. On his way to his house, he got robbed. Monthly salary gone.
I can imagine a security guard being robbed. Then would you want to allow him to continue working at your house?
Yeah, but remember, yes. I understand, but you know, sometimes these guys have like a firearm and he's off duty, you know, they you know, take a knife and keep it to your throat, so you hand over the money, you know, but I understand your point. Yeah. But what we can do is now, he can load, remember the money is in your wallet. The money is on the internet. This is your wallet. This is your card. Here's the money. It's not a lot, 50 bucks or so. Okay. So I can choose, I can load with star 120, I can load the money from my wallet onto my card. So if I get robbed or if I lose my card, I can just cancel the card and pull the money back into my wallet. So I haven't lost everything. I think that's an important point. I'm not at risk. Okay, so we'll get to some of the other benefits now.
If I could just repeat that again, that let's say you have 1,000 rand in your wallet, then you could just transfer 200 onto your card so that 800 isn't at risk. And even if the card is stolen, you can just get that 200 back.
Yeah.
But so it doesn't mean that the guy who has access to the card has access to your entire wallet. Only the part that you transfer to your card with your app.
Very valid point. Your money is safe in the cloud, in your bank account. You can load as much money as you want, or as little money as you want to limit your risk. If this card is lost or stolen, you just cancel the card. They can't do anything with this card. Okay.
So that means still your 200 rand is not at risk,
It's not at risk.
even if you lose your card.
Yeah. I can go onto the internet now and unload my card. I can pull the money out of the card back into my wallet.
Yes. Yeah. So what I mean is, okay, is there any possibility that you can lose your 200 rand in your card if you didn't offload the money that you had inserted in that card?
Well, yes, if the guy stole the card, knew your telephone number, then and you didn't stop it quick enough, then potentially you could steal
It
it.
still has to have a PIN.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have to have a
So
PIN.
then
Now you must go and swipe, it's not going to work.
It's
They're
not
going to ask you for
going
a
to work,
PIN.
yes.
So it's not-
When you
decline.
stop it, then you're good.
Decline.
Yeah.
But the safest way is to stop the card immediately. You will see all the banks will tell you, if you lose your card, there's a number, stop your card. Then MasterCard blocks this card. You can't do anything with this. Throw it away and we give you a new card.
A question from me, will we have the stop function on the app at a certain stage that you will just go to your app, stop it, and the thing is
We are
cancelled?
building, the developers are working with that at
Right.
the moment. At this stage, you can just send a WhatsApp and say, stop card, we've got a number, and the support will block that.
Okay, WhatsApp is still very
That
quick.
would be-
Yeah. Yeah. Elias? You have
Because I'm trying to understand the relationship between the money you load in the card and the money that you save in the cloud.
Cloud. Yes.
Yeah, which is your wallet. Yes. That relationship is what I want to understand.
Okay.
How possible is it that you will be able to load? I think I've not seen that technology yet, whereby, because I feel your card is linked